wonder what actually happens during a barium enema? Or maybe you're an X-ray student in clinicals, or you're preparing for your ARRT Registry Exam. Either way, you're in the right place. A barium enema can seem intimidating for both patients and radiography students because it involves live X-ray called fluoroscopy. It involves contrast media, effective patient communication, and multiple patient positioning changes. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I explain the procedure from start to finish, explain what happens during the procedure, and the positioning techniques that you'll see from a clinical instructor's point of view. With all of this information, you'll feel more confident the next time you have to perform a barium enema. Welcome back. My name is Kelly. I'm a radiographer and a clinical instructor. My goal is to help X-ray students and radiologic technologists become more confident, and successful in both the classroom and the clinical setting. One of the biggest challenges I see with students isn't positioning. It's learning how to confidently communicate with the patients before the exams begin. So when patients understand what's going to happen, they're more relaxed, they cooperate better, and the exam usually goes much smoother. So today I'm going to show you exactly how I explain the barium enema in a language that patients understand, while also sharing positioning tips and clinical tips for students. Let's get started. What is a barium enema? A barium enema is also called a lower GI study. This is a fluoroscopy examination of the large intestine. During the exam, a liquid contrast called barium sulfate is introduced into the rectum through a small enema tip. The barium coats the inside lining of the colon, allowing the radiologist to clearly evaluate the anatomy under fluoroscopy with radiographs. So the doctor can order one of two studies for a BE. They can order a single contrast study, which you can see here on the left-hand side of the screen, or a double contrast study. So the single contrast study uses either just barium or just gastrographin. A double contrast study uses both barium and air, which allows the radiologist to see the fine detail of the colon lining. Why would a patient's doctor order this test? A barium enema may be ordered to evaluate patient symptoms such as changes in bowel habits, rectal bleeding, chronic constipation, abdominal pain, colitis, obstruction, polyps, diverticulitis, intussusception, inflammatory bowel disease, areas of narrowing within the colon, cancer, screening, or a family history of colon cancer. Contraindications for a barium enema. Absolute contraindications are if the patient has suspected bowel perforation or traumatic bowel injury, acute toxic megacolon. This is a severely dilated, inflamed colon that puts the patient at risk for a perforation. Severe active ulcerative colitis. The colon wall is extremely fragile during a severe flare, and introducing barium and air can actually increase the risk of the patient developing a perforation. Relative contraindications. If the patient has had a recent colonoscopy with biopsy, many facilities will postpone the exam for several days depending on the patient's condition and the radiologist's recommendations. If the patient has had a recent colorectal surgery or possible anastomotic leak, pregnancy, severe active lower GI bleeding, another imaging study, or a colonoscopy may be preferred depending on the patient's condition. A complete large bowel obstruction, and if the patient is experiencing any kind of abdominal pain or signs of peritonitis, it should be evaluated carefully before a barium enema, because these symptoms may indicate perforation or another surgical emergency. Use water-soluble iodinated contrast instead with perforation, post-operative leak, or certain fistulas that are suspected. Again, this is all up to the ordering physician as well as the radiologist, and the radiologist will determine with all of the patient's history whether the barium enema can be performed. Oftentimes, patients are sent to the radiology department for a barium enema, but we're not given clear instructions on what to expect during the exam. So for many patients, this may be their very first fluoroscopy exam. So when you're explaining the exam to your patient, you want to use medical terminology that is easy for your patient to understand and to comprehend. For example, say, today we will be taking special X-ray pictures of your large intestine. We'll place a liquid called barium into your colon through a small tube. The barium will help outline the inside of your colon so that the doctor can look for anything abnormal. And then at this point, you can show the patients the enema tip so they know what to expect. Notice how simple that sounds and how easy it is for the patient to understand. Patients want to know why they're having the exam done, what's going to happen, and whether it's going to hurt. If you answer those 3 questions early, you've already reduced a lot of patient anxiety. So as a clinical instructor, I've learned that patient education is just as important as positioning. When you have a calm patient that is usually cooperative, and a cooperative patient almost always leads to better images and a smoother fluoroscopy exam. Now that the patient understands why they're having the exam, the next step is making sure that they're properly prepared before the procedure even begins. Preparation is one of the biggest factors that determines whether a barium enema will be successful. So when I bring my patient into the fluoroscopy room, I don't immediately start talking about the exam. I want to make sure that my patient is comfortable. So I'll introduce myself, I'll ask them their name, their date of birth, I'll check their armband and confirm that that information is correct. And then I'll explain that I'll be walking them through every step of the exam. So for female patients of childbearing age, I'll verify pregnancy status and their date of their last menstrual period. I'll also review a few important questions like, did you complete your bowel prep for your exam? Did you follow the dietary instructions? Did you take the prescribed laxative? Have you had any recent abdominal or bowel surgeries? Have you recently undergone a colonoscopy or a bowel biopsy? Have you ever had radiation to your abdomen? When was the last time that you had something to eat? The patient should have taken their bowel prep and be NPO prior to the exam. These questions are important because recent bowel procedures or suspected perforation may require a water-soluble contrast material instead of barium. Clinical instructor tip: not all bowel preps are successful. Before beginning the fluoroscopy exam, I'll ask the patient to change into a hospital gown. I'll ask them to remove everything, including their socks. I'll tell them to put on the gown so that it ties in the back, and then I'll assist them to the bathroom to get changed. Once the patient is changed, we'll take a preliminary scout radiograph. This is just simply a supine abdominal radiograph without any contrast. We'll label the radiograph as scout and then show it to the radiologist. If significant stool still remains in the patient's colon, it can obscure pathology and reduce the diagnostic quality of the study. The radiologist will determine if the barium enema can be performed. So taking just a moment to verify adequate bowel preparation can prevent unnecessary radiation exposure and repeat imaging. Remember, great fluoroscopy begins long before the image is taken. When you greet the patient professionally, answer their questions, verify their preparation, and help them feel at ease, you're already setting yourself and your patient up for a successful examination. In the next section, we'll walk through exactly how I explain the procedure to the patient from the moment they lie on the table until the exam is complete. Now let's talk about the part of the exam that usually causes the patient the most anxiety. What actually happens during a barium enema? As radiologic technologists, how we explain the procedure can make the difference between a calm, cooperative patient and one who is nervous and tense throughout the exam. Example of how I typically explain the procedure to the patient. The first thing we're going to do is have you lie down on your left side with your right knee bent slightly. This position allows us to comfortably place a small, well-lubricated enema tip inside your rectum. You may feel some discomfort and a little bit of pressure, but it shouldn't be painful. Once the tube is in place, a small balloon on the end of the tip may be gently inflated. The purpose of the balloon is to simply keep the tube from slipping out during the exam. You may notice a feeling of fullness or mild pressure, but I'll be talking to you throughout the procedure and will try to make you feel as comfortable as possible. Next, we will slowly allow the liquid barium to flow into the large intestine. The barium coats the inside of your colon so the doctor can clearly see the lining using live X-ray imaging called fluoroscopy. During the exam, we may introduce small amounts of air into your colon. The air gently expands the colon and spreads the barium into a thin coating. This gives the radiologist much better detail of the lining of your colon. Again, you may feel some pressure and some slight discomfort when air is introduced into the colon. Throughout the exam, I'll help you roll around in several different positions on the X-ray table. Each position allows the radiologist to see different portions of your large intestine. As the barium fills the colon, you'll help the patient slowly rotate into different positions. Depending on the radiologist's routine, they may include projections such as supine or prone, RPO, LPO, right lateral, left lateral, upright positions if required, and each position allows the contrast in the air to move to different portions of the colon, providing complete visualization. Throughout the procedure, the radiologist acquires spot fluoroscopy images while you'll obtain overhead radiographs according to the department protocol. Communication is essential. So clear communication helps prevent the tubing from twisting or dislodging during patient rolling. So you want to make sure that you are explaining exactly what you need the patient to do in words that make sense to them and are easy to comprehend. So anticipate the patient's needs. You want to pay attention to their facial expressions throughout the exam, remain calm and supportive of your patient's needs, and again, explain each step before it happens. You want to make sure that you're using clear, simple instructions instead of vague commands. You don't want to say just roll over. You want to use clear commands such as roll towards me onto your stomach, bring your right arm up by your head, bend up your left knee, roll towards me onto your stomach, continue rolling onto your right side. Perfect. Stay right there. Break down the movements to prevent tubing issues. If you just tell the patient to move and they're not expecting or don't understand what to do, the tubing that is in place can become dislodged. So in order to avoid that, just make sure you are using clear communication throughout the entire exam. Some student mistakes that I've noticed are moving the patient too quickly on the table, not communicating before changing positions, and again, forgetting to support the tubing. So as you can tell here from this picture, the barium bag is hung here on an IV pole that is connected to the patient's rectum here through one of these tubes here. And the end of it has this balloon in it to help hold the tube in place. However, if the patient is rolling around on the table and they're moving too quickly, or you're not watching the tubing as they're rotating, it becomes twisted around their legs. So in order to prevent it from dislodging, again, just keep an eye on the tubing when the patient is rolling around on the table. And just a reminder, pay attention to your patient's facial expressions for signs of discomfort during the exam. It is essential to highlight that fluoroscopy focuses on both image quality and patient care. Keep in mind that performing a barium enema is a team effort amongst the technologist, the radiologist, and the patient, and it's vital for conducting safe and successful examinations. So you want to build clinical confidence. Knowing why each position is performed, not just how, builds stronger technique and confidence. You want to be able to anticipate the radiologist's next move, and in doing so, this will aid in a smoother workflow and it helps to reduce the exam time. Understanding the complete exam flow enhances patient care, teamwork, and overall efficiency. The key benefits: you will have quicker transitions between the positions, reduced instances of repeated exposures, improved patient comfort, because again, you're keeping an eye on the tubing and you're communicating with them throughout the exam, and then increased time for high quality imaging. Once the radiologist confirms that all of the necessary fluoroscopy images and overhead radiographs have been obtained, then the enema tip is gently removed and the patient is assisted to the restroom to evacuate the remaining barium. Before the patient leaves, I always review a few important aftercare instructions. Here's an example of what I tell the patient. Your exam is finished. You did a great job. Remember, it's really important that you increase your fluids and your fiber intake. Your stools may be a grayish white in color. That's completely normal. It's actually from the barium. If you experience any kind of constipation or discomfort, you can take a mild laxative. If you haven't had a bowel movement in 24 to 72 hours, then call your primary care physician and he can help recommend something for you. Finally, I remind every patient that the radiologist will interpret the examination and send the report to their ordering physician to review. Although as technologists and x-ray students we perform these exams, we don't provide the official results because those findings need to be reviewed by the ordering physician first. So never assume that your patient remembers everything that you've explained to them. After a procedure like a barium enema, patients are often focused on getting dressed and going home. Use simple language and avoid medical terminology and ask, do you have any questions before we leave today? By asking the patient this simple question, you help to answer any of their concerns that they may have but have been hesitant to ask. It also reinforces that you're there to support them, not just to perform the examination. ARRT Registry tips. A barium enema evaluates the large intestine or the colon. Barium coats the mucosal lining while air distends the colon during a double contrast study to improve visualization of the fine mucosal detail. A scout radiograph is obtained before introducing contrast to verify adequate bowel preparation. Patients are routinely positioned in multiple projections so every segment of the colon can be evaluated. Encourage hydration after the exam to help prevent constipation. And remind your patient that they will have white or light grayish colored stools after the exam, and that's expected because that's from the remaining barium from their barium enema test. Clinical instructors' top 5 tips for student success. So before we wrap up, here are 5 habits that I encourage every radiography student to develop during fluoroscopy rotations. Number 1, introduce yourself with confidence. Patients immediately feel comfortable when they know who is caring for them. Number 2, explain each step before you perform it. Never surprise your patient. Number 3, watch your patient, not your fluoroscopy monitor. Facial expressions and body language often tell you when someone needs reassurance. Number 4, learn the purpose behind every position. Understand why you're positioning the patient a certain way, and it will make you a stronger technologist. And number 5, remember that compassion is a clinical skill. Great technologists don't just produce excellent images. They provide excellent patient care. Those 5 habits will serve you well throughout your radiography career. Every barium enema is an opportunity to practice 3 essential skills: patient communication, fluoroscopy positioning, and teamwork with the radiologist. As you experience, you'll find that explaining the exam becomes more natural, positioning becomes more efficient, and your confidence grows with every patient. So whether you're a first semester X-ray student, preparing for your ARRT Registry Exam, or already working as a radiologic technologist, mastering these communication and positioning techniques will make you a more competent and compassionate imaging professional. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to like and subscribe for more radiography education, fluoroscopy tutorials, positioning demonstrations, image analysis, and ARRT registry review content. Let me know in the comments, are you a radiography student, a clinical instructor, or a working technologist? What fluoroscopy topic would you like to see covered next? And if you're continuing your fluoroscopy review, don't miss the next video in this series where we'll break down the barium enema positioning and image analysis and review each projection step by step from a clinical instructor's point of view. Keep learning and asking questions, and remember, great radiographers don't just take great images. They make a lasting impression in every patient's experience. Master X-rays one at a time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.